Have you ever been on a trip and you have Google Maps or Apple Maps and it's open and you say, okay, here's the best way to get there? Do you do what I do? I always look for a shortcut that even Google didn't know existed. It doesn't exist. Play by the rules, follow the map. We're going to talk about processes next on Purpose Under Pressure. Well, welcome back. My name's Bryan, and this is Purpose Under Pressure. It's a podcast about developing sales and leadership success on purpose and under pressure. It's brought to you by the professional sales and leadership training team at Sandler by the Ruby Group. You'll find them in Akron and in Columbus, Ohio. They're in Jacksonville, Florida. They're in Capital Region, New York. They do their work on purpose so that you and your team can represent that way. What does that mean? It means you have an expectation and an understanding of what you're trying to do in your business. You can't just let that happen. You can't just let that be something you hope for. You can't just let that be. You have to show what are the steps? What are the things we need to do? How are we going to do this? Why are we going to do this? Why are we even here? When you do that, when you identify your purpose, you can be on purpose. It's not always easy to do, and sometimes it needs an outside influence, and that's why I think you ought to check out Sandler by the Ruby Group. You'll find them at therubygroup.sandler.com. The Ruby Group, developing stronger sales teams for tougher conversations. So let's get cooking. We just talked about it a little bit. It's on my mind, the idea of processes. We've talked about this before on this podcast, how sellers love to hear yes, how we love to say yes, how we want to make the deal, how we want to make every deal, right? We talked about it like it's a drug. We need the yes, right? But we can't make every deal. We just can't. More importantly, we shouldn't. I learned a lesson somewhere, and then I don't know where. I wish I did. I've heard it repeated many, many times. The best deal you'll ever make is the one you said no to, the one you didn't make. Why? Because the wrong deal, the wrong yes will kill an organization. The wrong deal will stretch you to deliver so far that you can't deliver, and that's going to hurt. The wrong deal will hurt your culture. The wrong deal can cost you way more than money, and it'll cost you money. The wrong deal is the wrong deal, but how do you know? It's always easy to look back. How do you know a wrong deal? How do you know when to say no? Well, the hard way. That's the simple answer. The only way you're going to know when to say no is because you said yes at some point before. You had the opportunity to say never again. We've all been there. We've all said next time it's going to be different. Next time I'm not doing that. I don't know about you, but I'm sure you're in this boat too. I can remember waking up after a fun evening. No, never again. Right? I'll never do that again. Next time it's going to be different. And yet, well, how is it going to be different if we still want the deal? We still want the commission. We still want to solve that person's problem, right? We still want to hit our goals. We still want to hit our targets. How are we going to change if we convince ourselves that this time it's going to be different this time? This deal won't look like the last one. It won't go bad. This customer won't bleed us like the last one did. This one might look like a duck, walk like a duck, talk like a duck, but this one's not a duck. Trust me. How are we going to learn? Here's how. We set the rules. We set the processes. We set the systems. We learn from our mistakes in the past with systems that ensure that those mistakes never happen again. Then we use those systems. We don't deviate. We don't bend. We don't break the rules, and we don't make excuses. Processes and systems. Did I pre-qualify? Did I check my references? Did I ask who the decision maker is going to be? Or did I take a shortcut? Did I skip any of those steps? Did I follow the roadmap? Sandler by the Ruby Group, there are partners in this podcast. Sandler's sales training has process for sales. It's called a sales submarine. You can look that up and figure out why they call it a sales submarine. It's a cool story, but it's basically a roadmap of steps. Number 1, establish trust. Number 2, set expectations. Number 3, find the real problem. Number 4, find out, and the easiest way to do this is to ask, is there a budget for this? Go ahead and talk about money. Number 5, figure out who the decision maker is. Don't skip that. And you do all of these steps before you even get to step 6, which is to present your solution. And that is the first thing most salespeople do. See why we have a system? See why we have a process? And even then, you're not done, because step 7 is to clearly identify the next steps. And folks, if you skip one of those steps or whatever your process is, you're in trouble. Why? Because you didn't follow the system. You didn't learn from your mistakes. You didn't follow the process. Things can still go south. Hear me. I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect because you've set up a system. If you follow the process and things go wrong, well, that's a learning opportunity to build on, and that's a good thing. But if things go south because you took a shortcut, that's a bad look, and it's on you, because there's a process and a system set up. If you don't have a process or a system, get one, because life's easier when we play by the rules, when we do things in the right order. Whether it's hard, whether it's inconvenient, doesn't matter. When we follow the system or a process, we always know what to do next. This started out with, how do I know when to say yes or no? If you follow the system, you'll always know whether to say yes or no. Now, whether you actually do answer the right way, that's up to you. That's our show. We appreciate you being here and watching. We do this every week. If you like it, please subscribe so you won't miss another one, and tell a friend so that they can be on purpose too. You'll find all past episodes of Purpose Under Pressure at bryanmediastrategies.com/podcast and wherever you stream your favorite shows. It's brought to you by the Ruby Group, developing stronger sales teams for tougher conversations. Until next time, no matter how high the pressure gets, stay on purpose.